Welcome to the May 11th, 2021 meeting of the Santa Barbara City Council. We'll call this meeting to order and start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. Would you call the roll, please, Ms. Clerk?
Certainly. Councilmember Alejandra Gutierrez. I see she is here. I will check her in. Councilmember Harmon. Here. Councilmember Snedden.
Here.
Councilmember Friedman.
Here.
Councilmember Jordan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Gutierrez.
Present.
And Mayor Murillo.
Here. Thank you very much. Before we move on, I'd like to announce that we had a closed session item earlier today. This was Theodore Cracky versus City of Santa Barbara, and we have continued that item probably to next week. Thank you, Ms. Clerk. On to our ceremonial item, if you would read that into the record, please.
Certainly. Item 1, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, May 2021.
Great. We have a proclamation. Happy to present this today, and I'm sure we have folks in the audience who will come on afterwards and make some remarks. So this is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, May 2021. Whereas Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, AAPI, are a diverse community tracing heritage to dozens of countries and regions, including China, India, Japan, the Philippines, Vietnam, South Korea, Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia. And whereas the Congressional Gold Medal was awarded in 2011 to Japanese Americans who served though their families were incarcerated in concentration camps under Executive Order 9066, awarded in 2017 to Filipino Americans who solely lost their military benefits due to the Rescission Act of 1946, and awarded in 2020 to Chinese American veterans who were ineligible for citizenship when the war began due to the 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act. And whereas AAPI have always battled discrimination, litigating early immigration law, including birthright, citizenship, and the infamous Korematsu versus US decision upholding internment, and uniting to create a single AAPI identity to fight injustice following the murder of Vincent Chin, for which the assailants received probation and a fine, but no time in jail. And whereas the first Asian to settle in Santa Barbara was Filipino Antonio Miranda Rodriguez, a founding pobladores of Los Angeles, who arrived in Santa Barbara in 1783 and was buried in the Presidio Chapel, after whom came many local Filipino residents and the creation of the Filipino Community Association, which remains active today at 425 State Street. And whereas in the 1860s, Chinese immigrants built a vibrant Chinatown on the first block of East Canon Perdido that included mercantiles, laundries, a place of worship, and a community association, but which was devastated and dismantled following the 1925 earthquake when the city chose to adopt a cohesive Spanish colonial revival look. And whereas Japanese residents settled in the blocks of 100 East Canon Perdido and 800 Anacapa Street in the early 20th century, enriching the area with a grocery store, barbershop, boarding house, billiard hall, and churches until April 1942, when local Japanese Americans were incarcerated at the Gila River concentration camp, after which only a few returned. And whereas the city of Santa Barbara respects the many cultural, economic, social, and educational contributions of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders to our community, now therefore I, Mayor Kathy Murillo, do hereby proclaim May 2021 as Asian American and Pacific Islander Month and encourage residents to join in the celebration by participating in local AAPI events, reading about AAPI history, and rejecting prejudice. Thank you very much. Ms. Clerk, do we have someone in the audience who would like to receive the proclamation?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have Juliet Velarde Betita. I will unmute you. And go ahead.
Thank you so much for passing this AAPI Heritage Month resolution. I really so appreciate this from my heart. Hello, my name again is Juliet Velarde Betita, and I am a voter from District 4, Ms. Seddon, and I'm here to voice my support for this resolution. This resolution is important to me because it validates AAPI existence in this community since the 1700s. We have provided the historical and present backbone from independent farmers to self-owned commercial businesses that have helped make this a thriving community. So I want you to know that and feel very proud of my ethnic background and the heritage that the Asian AAPI community has provided for all of us. I also want to introduce another format, and this is possibly a next step to consider, and that is to acknowledge this city council as an anti-racist city council. Again, thank you for passing this AAPI Heritage Month resolution.
Thank you very much. I see some other folks in the audience who might want to speak on this item. Ms. Clerk? You're on mute, Ms. Clerk.
All right. We do have Karina Jew, Mark Alvarado, and Ann Peterson with their hands raised. I believe Karina Jew does wish to speak on this item, and if Mark Alvarado and Ann Peterson wish to speak on something later, please lower your hand and we'll call on you a little bit later. Looks like we have Karina Jew and Ann Peterson.
Perfect.
So Karina Jew, please go ahead. Karina Jew, you can unmute yourself and go ahead. There you go.
Okay. Yes. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and council members. And I want to express my great happiness and appreciation to see Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month recognized by the city of Santa Barbara. And the last several months have been difficult ones for our community, and there could be no better time to reflect on the history and contributions of AAPIs. Yeah. In this joyous moment of breakthroughs for AAPIs, from Chloe Zhao for directing in Hollywood to Vice President Kamala Harris in the White House, we also find ourselves, sadly, in one of the worst periods of anti-Asian hate in our history in this country, from vicious attacks and murders of elders in the Bay Area and New York, to the women killed in Atlanta and the targeting, once again, of the Sikh community in Indiana, which resulted in 4 deaths. Our history has often gone missing in the textbooks, in media representations, but in reality, we have been here a long time and we have contributed and we have accomplished a lot in the face of injustice, and we have always fought back. I want to thank the council for recognizing the contributions of our Asian American and Pacific Islander World War II veterans. And I wanted to mention that my grandfather was one of the Chinese American World War II veterans that were recognized in 2020. And he was a litter bearer. His job was to carry casualties off of the battlefield. And he served in Europe. He was at the Battle of Normandy. And those aren't images that we normally see when we go back and look at our history books about what happened during that conflict. And I also wanted to let people know that Stop AAPI Hate has just released a new national report
We lost you,
that
Ms.
people should out. They had a lot of
I'm hoping she'll come back. Oh, Miss Ju, we lost you. But thank you for your remarks. We can come back to her if necessary. I know that Ann Peterson with the Trust for Historic Preservation wanted to make some remarks, and I think that great organization has some activities related to the month. Ms. Gorman?
Very good. Ann Peterson, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm the Executive Director of the Santa Barbara Trust for Historic Preservation. We're so pleased to see the city's support for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. As the operators of El Presidio de Santa Barbara State Historic Park, which was also the site of Nihonmachi, or Japantown, and New Chinatown, the Trust serves as stewards of significant places related to the Chinese and Japanese families who helped build our community. In addition, the first Filipino resident of Santa Barbara, as noted in the proclamation, arrived in the late 18th century as a Presidio soldier. We have worked with community members to collect oral histories, objects, and photographs related to these communities, and we encourage everyone to visit the Nihonmachi Revisited exhibit at El Presidio de Santa Barbara State Historic Park when we reopen later this spring, and the new display about the Chung family and their business inside the Pickle Room in the Jimmy's Oriental Gardens building. Our organization is able to support this good work via our Asian American Affinity Group, which is made up of talented and generous community members, including Karina Ju and Juliet Batista, who you heard from previously, who give their time to share the cultures and histories of Asian and Pacific Islander Americans with the community through public programs. The Asian American Film Series and the Asian American Neighborhood Festival have been going strong for over 10 years, and we're grateful for their efforts. I'm pleased to announce some upcoming programming developed by the Asian American Affinity Group that is free and online during the month of May. Tomorrow, on May 12th, we will have a presentation on Asian American history, both local and national, that provides a historical context for recent acts of violence and racism. On May 19th, we will host a community conversation with local Asian American business owners. And on May 26th, you can tune in for a cultural performance celebrating the diversity of the Asian American Pacific Islander experience. You can sign up for these free online programs at www.sbthp.org/lectures. Thank you very much.
We're thanking you. Thanks so much, Ms. Peterson. We'll close this ceremonial item, Ms. Clerk, unless anyone else is raising their hand.
Very good, Madam Mayor. No further speakers on this item.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Casey, are there any changes to the agenda?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, we'll go to the consent calendar, and I know we have to pull item 3 because Mr. Friedman needs to recuse himself from that particular one, but Ms. Clerk, if you would read the items that you need to, please.
Madam
Yes,
Mayor.
Madam.
Madam Mayor, generally you do public comment before the consent calendar.
Thank you. We'll go to open public comment. This is the opportunity for the public to talk to us about items that are not on our official agenda. So please raise your hand in the go to webinar function. Everyone gets 3 minutes. We're happy you're here. Thank you.
Very good. We have a few speakers. We have Mark Alvarado, Ronald Buckley, E. Howard Green, and Anna Marie Gott. Mark Alvarado, please go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm reaching out specifically to Mayor Murillo and Representative Jordan, Harmon, and Friedman. I've spoken to the other representatives regarding.
Mr. Alvarado, if you would call back in, it's a really bad connection, or can you walk somewhere else where you are and see if the connection's better?
Ortega Park in length, and so I haven't spoken to any of you individually, and I intend to. Can you hear me?
No, you have a really
Hello?
connection. So Ms. Clerk, if you would go to the next speaker and maybe Mr. Alvarado can call back in from a different location or, thanks.
Very good.
Okay,
Our
thanks.
next speaker is Ronald Buckley. And Mr. Alvarado, you might want to try calling in using a phone as opposed to computer audio. That might have a better connection. Ronald Buckley, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members. I had one brief item, but I'm going to add two more quickly. I have a friend named Paul Nguyen, who was one of the boat people who came from Vietnam in 1975. And he came to this country and he was a pharmacist over there, but he obviously didn't want to stay with the communists. And so he left the country, came here, he became an engineer, and I met him at an electronics company years ago. He's a consummate cook, he's a gourmet cook, he's a dancer, and he's just a fine fellow, and he's an Asian American. And I just wanted to acknowledge him. The second item I have is percolating through the Senate is Senate Bill 556, put forward by Crown Castle. And if this thing passes, your telecom ordinance is going to be null. It will prevent you from doing anything to control anything these telecoms want to do. So I'd like to draw your attention to 556, and hopefully you can contact the people you know and oppose this bill being opposed. And finally, I have a little poem for you again, a different one. This time it's called Accessories to Tree Slaughter by Ron Buckley. On the corner of Anacapa and Carrillo Street, there is a desolate spot. There once was a tree, now it's vacant as an empty parking lot. You see, I spoke to the city forester asking him why. He explained the complexity of roots gone awry. First drought, then some sidewalk work on another day. Put the poor tree in a very fragile way. Then came along Crown Castle with backhoe and trucks, hired by AT&T, who's paying them big bucks. They trenched for their cables with no oversight from the city, further damaging the roots. Oh dear, what a pity. It looks like a grave marker with Crown Castle's name next to the vacant tree. Oh my, what a shame. Calling it murder might get me in hot water. So let's just call them accessories to tree slaughter. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Next speaker is E. Howard Green. E. Howard Green, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you very much, Madam Mayor and council members. I'm speaking right now with some concern. I discovered yesterday something that will affect or could affect a lot of people, and that perhaps the city can take some action to help relieve this problem. I live in a building that has two central mail boxes for residents to pick up their U.S. mail. Up until this week, any packages that I've ordered from Amazon have been delivered to my door. Apparently, a new policy or a new office has been established for the Santa Barbara area that has made a decision not to deliver to our front doors when they're accessible, of course, but to leave all packages at the mail facility, the U.S. mail collection of boxes. This raises a serious concern of someone following the trucks and picking up our packages. In addition, as I said, we have two mail facilities in my building. One of them is close to State Street. One of them is on the little cul-de-sac that has the main address. They've been leaving packages for people who live in the State Street entrance and mail location at the cul-de-sac location. I find this very disconcerting and was wondering if there's a complicated process or whether it would be simply possible to add the relevant appropriate street address that's on State Street entrance. And I suspect the post office would have to coordinate with you all and perhaps the fire department and other agencies to make this happen. So I'm raising this for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Next speaker.
Next speaker is Anna Marie Gott. Ms. Gott, I am sending you your PIN. And then Victoria Valente. Let's call on Victoria Valente, and then we'll come back to Anna Marie Gott. And Victoria Valente, please go ahead.
Madam Mayor, council members, at the budget meeting yesterday, a public commenter mentioned some common sense ways to raise more revenue for capital improvement projects, for example, through an alcohol tax. Businesses selling alcohol benefit excessively from publicly funded police services. How about recuperating some of these funds through a cost recovery tax? According to this speaker, we could be raising $13 million per year to pay for capital improvement projects, for example, recreation programs and facilities. This sounds like common sense to me. Over the past 2 decades, capital improvement program budgets have emphasized the high priority need for more aquatics facilities in Santa Barbara. This was stated in the 2003 Aquatics Complex Feasibility Study, and in 2008 identified as high priority by the Infrastructure Financing Task Force. And aquatics brings in revenue. An Olympic-sized pool was recommended for the site next to Los Baños Pool, where the wading pool is. Currently, a splash pad is being proposed for this location, where the ability to swim is not required, as a high percentage of our low-income population has never had the opportunity to learn to swim. But it looks like nothing can be built at this site. Also during public comment yesterday, an influential public speaker pointed out that even the splash pad would encroach on the habitat of birds nesting in the ficus trees, and that they will be needing this space 6 months out of every year. I really don't know what to say about this. The Parks and Recreation Department needs to drop everything it's doing and focus all of its effort on the redesign of Ortega Park, with greater community outreach and new workshops. A lot of Eastside residents, including murals and aquatics advocates, are extremely unhappy and feel that outreach efforts deliberately left them out or were designed to offend, deceive, or discredit and further disenfranchise them. This redesign needs to take place now in order to meet the CEQA approval deadline to qualify for the $8.5 million grant and hopefully be used to fund high priority amenities such as aquatics. If this doesn't happen, I believe that there are going to be extremely undesirable consequences. I can only imagine what might happen when great numbers of community members are told that these cultural relics are going to be destroyed because the city has refused to compromise. Politically, this is not going to look good. The Parks and Recreation Department needs to get back to the drawing board now and have the Ortega Park master plan revised. Thank you.
Thank you. Other speakers?
Our final speaker is Anna Marie Gott. Anna Marie Gott, please go ahead.
Council members, when the Community Development Department or City Hall tries to push forward projects while leaving residents in the dark, out of the process, or feeling unprotected, the city has faced a PR crisis. That was the case with tiny homes for the homeless at the Cabrillo parking lot, metered parking in the Funk Zone, and the Salvation Army project at 15 South Elisa. When Black Lives Matter protests swept the nation last year, the actions of the mayor resulted in weeks of negative public comment during council meetings and even called for the mayor's resignation. I believe that if the council moves forward with the proposed Ortega Park master plan without changes and does not save the mural or include a competition pool at the same time the park is refurbished, that this council will create another PR crisis. But this PR crisis is going to be different because those whose voices who that have been systematically silenced or ignored by this city council are going to organize. Why? Because of the blatant ways in which the community has been used to apply for a grant, while the residents in that community were left out of the process and key decisions. The concerns of the residents were ignored, or events and questions manipulated to show that the community supports destroying the murals or a pool that isn't regulation size. The dystopian scenario that I actually see occurring if the city council decides not to order an immediate workshop and revision to the Ortega Park master plan and the funding of a competition pool includes the following. Residents are going to send out an SOS statewide for protesters. You're going to have protests at City Hall and at Ortega Park. You will have city and state residents showing up regarding this decision. And I can even foresee people chaining themselves to the trees, to the murals, and other structures in town. Can you picture that scenario? Can you picture the PR crisis that you will create if you do nothing? So let me just recommend again, you need to have Parks and Rec drop everything and restart the workshop. You have about 30 days to do this, and I
Thanks,
urge
Ms.
you
Scott.
to take action today. Thank you.
Appreciate your perspectives. And did Mr. Alvarado come back, Ms. Clerk?
Madam Mayor, he did, but then he has gone off again. So he is not available and there are no further speakers.
He or anyone else can send us an email if they have things to say to us. So thank you so much, everyone who participated in public comment. We'll move to the consent calendar, and if you would read the items, then we'll take item 3 off and vote on that separately. Ms. Clerk, thank you.
Very good. Item 2, adoption of zoning ordinance amendments and objective design standards for streamlined housing projects. Recommendation the council adopt by reading of title only an ordinance of the council of the city of Santa Barbara amending chapter 30.145, the Santa Barbara Municipal Code, to establish procedures for processing streamlined housing projects pursuant to Government Code section 56913.4, and finding the project to be exempt from CEQA pursuant to CEQA guideline 15061B3. Item 3, adoption of an uncodified ordinance of the council of the city of Santa Barbara establishing hazard-based premium pay for grocery and drug retail workers. Recommendation the council adopt by reading of title only an uncodified ordinance of the council of the city of Santa Barbara establishing hazard-based premium pay for grocery and drug retail workers. And item 4, adoption of ordinance to amend municipal code title 14 for the sewer lateral inspection program. Recommendation the council adopt by reading of title only an ordinance of the council of the city of Santa Barbara amending chapters 14.34, 14.44, and 14.46 of the Santa Barbara Municipal Code pertaining to sewers and sewer lateral maintenance and inspection. And that's all the items on consent.
Would you read item 6, 2, please? We're going to need to talk about that one.
Very good. Item 6, adoption of program year 2021 through 2022 annual action plan.
Mr. Friedman, you need to make a statement about item 3.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. I need to recuse myself from that item as it may affect my employer and my source of income.
Okay. Do I have a motion to move item 3 forward and a second?
So moved.
Thank you all. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Gutierrez.
I'll second.
Okay, very good. Any discussion to that item? We will just take a roll call vote without Mr. Friedman. Ms. Sneddon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll be brief and consistent with some of my concerns from last week. I feel I need to abstain because I don't have enough information to make a qualified decision at this time.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Clerk, if you would take a roll call vote. We'd be grateful.
Very good. And I'm sorry, was the motion by Councilmember Harmon?
Harmon, seconded by O. Gutierrez.
Very good. Yes, seconded by Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez. Councilmember Alejandra Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Harmon.
Yes.
Councilmember Snedden.
Abstain.
Councilmember Friedman is abstaining. Councilmember Jordan.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Gutierrez.
Aye.
And Mayor Murillo.
Aye. That passes. Thank you very much. Number 6. I'm sorry. I should have asked for a public comment on item 3. Not too late, folks, if you want to raise your hand on item 3. And I'm sorry, I'll just sit tight.
Madam Mayor, we have one hand raised, but that a speaker has indicated it's for item 2.
Okay. Well, we do try to do them in numerical order. Let's go back to 2 then, which was about objective design standards. And the public commenter is welcome to make a statement at this point.
Very good. Anna Marie Gott, we will unmute you in one moment. And just to note for the record that Councilmember Friedman actually recused himself from the previous vote on number 3, did not abstain.
Oh, thank you for that.
Very good. And Anna Marie Gott, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Council. Hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I had my computer on at the same time. Regarding item number 2, I would just like to ask if the city council members ever do any due diligence regarding conflicts of interest before they appoint anyone to the board. When you were doing your advisory board nominations and appointments. The reason I'm asking is because I believe you have advisory board members who have conflicts of interest, who are voting on and commenting on items that you were actually hearing and then passing ordinances on. So if you don't have such a procedure, I would highly recommend that you implement one before any additional appointments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll go to item 6.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Gutierrez.
Never mind. I don't think this is the place. I'm just a little confused with the public comment. It's fine. I will check in with city attorney.
There is a procedure by which people are trained when they're on the boards and commissions according to ethics and Brown Act. So if that's what you were looking for, but please ask Mr. Kawan. That's wonderful. Thank you. So on to item 6. I'd like to ask Ms. Stotts to address the council. There's been changes to the council agenda report that we were provided. Ms. Stotts, and this item is the adoption of program year 21-22, the annual action plan related to HUD, the HUD program. Go ahead, please. You're muted. Ms. Clerk, if you would unmute Ms. Stotts.
How about now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. So I just wanted to let council know during the, I have 3 minutes, huh?
You get more than 3 minutes.
Sorry, during the budget section of the report, we had notified council that our allocation had increased to 909,545, and we had adjusted the grant. We just found out a couple hours ago that HUD mistakenly announced those amounts So we've reverted back to what our original allocation was. So that table that has the original amount is remaining unchanged. So I wanted to make sure that council was clear on that. And there was no adoption of those dollar amounts. It was mostly for your information. So we just wanted to clarify that we're just going back to the original amount. And our actual HUD allocation for CDBG is the $896,000 that we had originally gone with.
Okay, so for the council members that are looking at their council agenda report, it's page 2, it's down at the bottom. So the grants for Transition House, Eastside Park renovation, CALM, Jewish Federation, Pilgrim Terrace, and CDBG administration are all the same as, okay, the lower amount. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Okay, thank you.
Clarification. And I would ask if there's a public comment on any other consent items. Otherwise, we'll go to a motion and move the consent calendar forward.
Madam Mayor, there's no further hands raised.
Thanks. Mr. Jordan, you may make that motion, sir.
Thanks, Dodge on and off. I'll make the motion for the remainder of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Okay, I think that's safe. Good. Ms. Clerk, you may take a roll call, please. Vote.
Very good. This is a motion by Councilmember Jordan, seconded by Councilmember Friedman for the remainder of the consent calendar, not including item 3. Councilmember Harmon.
Yes.
Councilmember Snedden.
Yes.
Councilmember Friedman.
Yes.
Councilmember Jordan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Gutierrez.
Aye.
Councilmember Alejandro Gutierrez.
Yes.
And Mayor Murillo.
Aye. Okay, that was unanimous. We closed the consent calendar. Both the Finance Committee and the Ordinance Committee met today. Mr. Friedman, if you would start us off with a report from Finance.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So today the Finance Committee met. We received a report on fee changes for the Water and Wastewater Department, the Waterfront and Parks Departments. And we also considered outside agency requests and gave some feedback to staff that will move forward as part of next week and eventually come to council. And then also we are want to have a future agenda item on how to actually come up with a better way to address outside agency requests for more transparency. So that will be a future agenda item later this year to be determined as a date.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Jordan, the Ordinance Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We met today and also discussed average unit density housing program ordinance amendments having to do with increasing the inclusionary percentage outside of the central business district, removing AUD considerations from mobile home parks, and some clarifying language on when state bonus density units can or can't be included in the AUD program. Those are also moving on to council.
Very good, appreciate that. We will go to item number 8. Ms. Clerk.
Very good. Item 8, sewer lateral inspection program updates.
We're ready for our staff presentation. Ms. Taylor,
Good
how are you these days? Good to see you.
Very well. Good to see you as well, Madam Mayor and council members. I am Kathy Taylor. I am the city's water supply and services manager. And it's our pleasure to be here today to give you this presentation on updates to the city's sewer lateral inspection program. This customer service program was started in 2007, and over the years it has changed and developed in response to the community's needs. And now I'm going to turn the presentation over to Galen Fair. She is the city's water quality superintendent, and she heads up the sewer lateral inspection program, and she has many updates to share with you today. So Galen, take it away.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Madam Mayor, council members, I'm happy to be here this afternoon to go over some updates that we've done to the sewer lateral inspection program over the last couple of years. Next slide, please. So a little bit that we'll talk about today, we'll give you a background of the sewer lateral inspection program, and we're going to go over the updates since 2019. That was the last time we presented to you on the changes we've made to the SLIP program. And a couple of those that we're going to highlight is going to be the video assistance program. We have a new software interface that we'll discuss and our enhanced outreach. Next slide. So first, a little background. Next slide. As Ms. Taylor mentioned, the sewer lateral inspection program was developed in 2007, and that was to address failing laterals and increase public awareness of the need to maintain private laterals. So on the consent calendar, you just adopted some of the changes to Title 14, and one of those was the clarifying language for our sewer lateral definitions. And a building sewer lateral is the underground pipes that connect a premises to the public sewer, and property owners are responsible for maintaining their private sewer lateral and Y connection. So you can see in the graphic we have up here, everything that is in orange is the property owner's responsibility, and that does include the Y that connects the sewer lateral to the city sewer main. Next slide, please. So SLIP continues to develop and change based on our community needs. We're really listening to what folks are saying out there and trying to mold the program to be able to listen and help our community. So at this point, we're really geared towards educating, informing, and assisting our property owners with lateral maintenance and repair. And the graphic we have here is something that I think really helps people understand what the maintenance is. So property owners know that if they have a house that was built 25 years ago, that roof is getting right around the edge there where it may need to be replaced or it may need to have some holes patched. And a sewer lateral is really no different. The only difference that there is that it's underground, so we can't see it. So as we all know, a lot of Santa Barbara's community was built in the 1920s, and then we had another big boom in the 50s and 60s. So with the sewer lateral having a lifespan of about 50 years, many of the homes in Santa Barbara are at their laterals are at the end of their expected lifespan. So that's one of the reasons that the SLIP program exists. We're here to help our property owners and give them information. And the program really is a proactive program, and we're coordinating the maintenance with our property owners. And there's roughly 300 miles of private infrastructure that our SLIP team is really working with our property owners to try and maintain. So to compare that to our public sewers, there's about 250 miles of public sewers. So a lot of infrastructure that we're really trying to assist our property owners with. Next slide. So one thing that I wanted to clarify is there's a lot of folks that think because we have this proactive program, this proactive SLIP program, that we're very different from the neighboring agencies, the other cities or sanitary districts in the Tri-County area. But in actuality, we're right on par with the rest of the agencies. From San Luis down to Ventura and Ojai, these agencies that I have listed here, they all do not own any of the lateral or the connection. So City of Santa Barbara, same scenario. We do not own any portion of the private sewer lateral or the connection. And to give you an idea of what the rest of the state looks like, back in 2017, the California Association of Sanitary Agencies did a voluntary survey, and about 26 agencies responded. And from that survey, it showed that 70% of the agencies do not own any portion of the private lateral, including the Y connection. So we're right on par with the majority of the state. So just wanted to make that clarification. Since we have this proactive program, it seems to be a little bit different to folks. Next slide. So now let's talk about when an inspection is required. We have about 5 different triggers. The first is permit initiated. So think anytime somebody does a remodel or adds an ADU, and they would have to be adding 2 or more plumbing fixtures or adding 400 square feet or more of habitable living space. If that's happening, we ask that they do an inspection of their sewer lateral. Another one is a private lateral spill. So if somebody has a spill on their property, clearly something's going awry with their sewer lateral. So we ask that they get inspected so we can help them determine what maybe need to be repaired if that's the case. And another one is what we call city initiated. So these are defects observed at a connection during our city main inspections. So the city does our own inspections of our sewer mains to make sure that our sewer mains are maintained and they're working effectively and free from defects. You can see in the picture on the bottom there, a lot of roots coming in from a lateral connection, and the rest of the city's sewer main is clean. So this is really what we see when we're out in the system cleaning our public sewer system. So if we see something like that, we'll send a letter asking for an inspection. And the last trigger is our commercial program. So this is commercial, industrial, or common interest developments, and they are on a 15-year inspection cycle. So anyone that falls in that commercial category, they're required to inspect their lateral every 15 years. Next slide, please. So next I want to talk to you about what the SLIP process is. It can be a little confusing. We hope we're breaking it down for folks in a understandable manner. So it's really broken into two parts. It's the inspection part and then the repair part. So first, someone will receive an inspection notification letter based on those triggers that I had just mentioned. And when that happens, we ask them to hire, the property owner to hire a certified plumber. So the SLIP team puts on a plumber certification course annually, and plumbers in the area will attend. And we ask that property owners hire plumbers that are on this list. And that's because we have a lot of standards that we are asking the plumbers to adhere to so that it's, so that they can be in our sewer lateral inspection program. So a property hires one of these certified plumbers. Plumber will inspect the lateral and submit the video to the SLIP team. And one of our SLIP coordinators will review the video for defects. And this process is 60 days. So we ask once property owner receives a letter, they have 60 days to submit the video. So next we move on to repair. So if our SLIP coordinator sees any defects that are in the video, we will call those out, and then we will send a repair notification letter to the property owner. And this really is our opportunity to work with the property owner, walk them through. We've been doing some one-on-one consultations with property owners to help them understand the condition of their sewer lateral. And we're able to provide guidance on their repair options. But ultimately, it is the property owner who decides on their repair solution. So they will then hire a plumber to complete the repairs. And once the repairs have been completed, we will send them a certificate of compliance, and they have made it through the SLIP process. And for the repair part of the process, we are asking for those repairs to be made in 120 days. With anything, extensions may be approved on a case-by-case basis. We just are asking folks to really be in communication with the SLIP team so that we know where they're at in the process. Next slide, please. So next we'll talk about some of the upgrades that we've done to the program over the last couple of years. Majority of them are staffing and then everything that's been in our administrative guidelines. Next slide. So in 2020, SLIP reorganized to an independent program. So think of SLIP now similar to our water supply group. It's really this customer-facing program, and we're assisting property owners with maintaining their sewer laterals. Currently, we have over 2,000 open SLIP cases, so it is a large workload. Just to give you some comparison, there's about 25,000 sewer laterals in the city, so we're just about at just under 10% of the system that we're working with the property owner. So it's a big workload, but we have received additional staff. I'm really excited for the team that we have. There's me, Galen Fair. I'm the water quality superintendent. We also have Mariana Cruz, who is our SLIP program administrator, and she's really helping us with a lot of our outreach and our public interfacing. So she's been fantastic with that. We've just brought on Isaac Garcia, who is one of our SLIP project coordinators, and he came from the wastewater collection group. So he's got good field knowledge. And then, of course, we've got Dale Escobar, our other SLIP coordinator. He's been with the SLIP program for several years, so he brings a lot of historical knowledge and how the program has evolved over the years. And what we're really happy to bring today is that we now have 2 bilingual staff members. So that is going to be really important as we're moving forward with our outreach and supporting our Spanish-speaking community. Next slide. The administrative guidelines, these are pretty much our guidelines on what we're doing in the SLIP program, and they are required for our sewer lateral inspection program for the municipal code. They were last updated in 2010, so we're going through and really updating everything. And some of the major updates that we've made are going to be our video assistance program, which I will talk about shortly, our software interface. Actually, I'm going to talk about all of these. So our video assistance program, our new software interface, repair options, and outreach efforts. And our public works director has the authority to approve these updates. And once we're have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, we will be sending that over to Mr. Hadmark for approval. So next slide. So next we'll talk about our video assistance program. Next slide. So this is the new pilot program, and we're calling it the VAP. So we'll go back and forth between video assistance program and a VAP acronym. And this program is really geared to help property owners complete the first step of the SLIP process, so that inspection portion of the process. So eligible VAP participants will have a sewer lateral inspection, will have the cost covered by the city up to $300. And these are going to be residential, city initiated only. So we're going to try that out with our pilot program. If this is wildly successful, we may need to make some changes. But this is something that we're really looking forward to helping our property owners with. And the inspection work will be coordinated by SLIP staff and then performed by the city's competitively bid plumbing contractor. So we went out and did a bid and received pricing, and we have a low bid contractor. And this is going to create ease for our property owners. They're going to be better informed of the condition of their lateral and be able to make decisions on the repairs if needed. So one bullet point that's not up here is this really is it's the first step of the SLIP process, but this is our first opportunity to be the first contact with the property owners when they're going through the SLIP program. Next slide. So we have $200,000 a year budgeted for the use of our VAP, and that money is coming from reallocating funds that were currently used to waive public works permits and inspection fees. So we were finding that we weren't able to help as many people, and we were only helping the property owners that were requiring repair work when we were waiving these public works permit fees. And now we're going to be able to assist 3 to 4 times more customers by using this video assistance program. It's going to be first come, first serve. And as I mentioned, it's going to be simplicity for the property owner. They just call us up. If they're eligible, we take care of the rest, and then we let them know what the condition of their lateral is in. And this VAP also offers quality control for the city. So we will get a consistent quality of the video inspection, same plumbing contractor, same quality of video every time we come through. Next slide. Next, we'll talk about our new software interface, and the name of the software is Forward Lateral. Next slide. So Forward Lateral is an interface between the city, the plumbing contractor, and the property owner. And the key part of this software is the property owner portion. So anybody can see, I'll get to that. It's a really neat program. It's a web-based program for submitting and reviewing lateral video inspections. So in the past, it's been a plumber submitting a video to the city reviewing, and then a property owner just receives a letter and says, hey, you need repairs. With this software program, the property owner can see that video, can see what the plumber has submitted to the city, what the city is calling out for potential repairs. So it's really exciting in that front. The property owner gets more involved. And forward lateral will be required by all city certified CCTV inspectors beginning July 1st, 2021. So all plumbers that went through that certification program that I mentioned earlier, they will all be required to use forward lateral beginning July 1st. Next slide. Forward lateral costs. So the costs are $30 per inspection. And those folks that are going to be enrolled in the VAP, the city will cover that cost. That'll be included in that $300 that I mentioned. So we're estimating about $18,000 per year for the forward lateral cost for the VAP. Next slide. And I touched on this real briefly, but the benefits of forward lateral are for all parties, for property owner, plumber, and city staff. It's really going to increase efficiency and save time. One way that happens in the past, plumbers would have to, they would do their video inspection, fill out a form, get a thumb drive or a DVD even, and drive it down to El Estero at the treatment plant, drop it off to our slip staff, and then get back in their car, drive back to the job. So this will eliminate that drive time. So the plumbers will have more time to be out in the field, do repairs, do what they need to do for their business. And then additionally for city staff, it's all going to be coming through the web-based platform. So we're only looking for it in one spot. There's going to be enhanced communication. So as I mentioned, every single party involved, property owner, plumber, city staff, will have the communication as a slip case moves from one status to another. So the property owner will provide an email address. So anytime a plumber submits their video, property owner will get an email alert. Anytime the city reviews and says, hey, your sewer lateral's good, you're good to go, or it may need repairs, they will get an email. So that enhanced communication is really exciting for the use of the software. It does store all of the information in one place. So now city staff doesn't have to keep track of the USBs, the DVDs, anything that comes through on potentially Dropbox, a digital submission. Everything's going to be in one place, stored in forward lateral. And then it's really a transparent process. Everyone can view the video and all parties know the status. Next slide, please. Next, we'll talk about our lateral repair options. Next slide. So we have, over the years, couple years, come up with additional repair options. And I want to make sure that this one is very clear that this is for the lateral connection. So you can see the photo there. That is what a Y connection looks like. And it is, I wish I had a little pointer I could point for you guys. That the little portion that looks like a Y is where the lateral connects to the sewer main. So this is what these options are referring to when we're talking about connection repair options. So the first option, this was the original option since the inception of the sewer lateral inspection program, and we call it a sewer tap replacement. Property owner hires a plumber, and the plumber will prepare an excavation pit, and if there's any other work that needs to be done on the lateral, the plumber can do it at that time. Now we have a city contractor that we have gone out to bid and gotten a price. We require that they are the one that actually do the replacement of the connection. And that's strictly for quality control. Since this does connect to our city sewer main, we want to have a Class A contractor doing that replacement. Should anything go wrong, that contractor can then do any repairs that are necessary. So the second option is our sewer tap replacement with excavation, and this was implemented in 2019. And in this case, we use that same city contractor that I was just mentioning, but they're the one that's going to prepare the excavation pit, and then they will replace the lateral connection. And what we've heard from the community over the years is that this connection replacement is really one of the most expensive portions of lateral repair. And it's usually the most difficult because it's in the street most of the time. So having this repair option too, it allows the property owner to basically come into the public works counter as soon as we're doing stuff in person and turn in an agreement form and payment, and then the city takes care of the rest. We coordinate with the city contractor and they get a picture of their lateral connection being replaced. This is really a great option for folks that only need the connection repair to be completed. And then our last option that we also implemented in 2019 is our repair option 3, which is a sewer connection rehabilitation. We call this a top hat, and the top hat is really a brand name. It's like Kleenex's to tissue. So if you hear anybody say top hat, it's a sewer connection rehabilitation. And this is assigned to our capital project. So the city has our capital projects where we're rehabilitating our sewer mains. And while we have that contractor out in the field, they're able to install these top hats, and they are it's a liner. I'm trying to think how to explain this best. But it essentially seals and effectively renews the lateral connection without the need for excavation. And that's the real important part. So without excavation, it's a lot cheaper. So we've got all these different options, and that's where we really encourage our property owners to reach out to us so that they can understand that they have these options. And maybe we can give them all the information so they can make an educated decision on what they want to do for their property. Next slide. And then the other item on repair that I'd like to discuss today is lateral rehabilitation. So again, this is a lining method, and it is a trenchless option for lateral rehabilitation. It uses cured in place pipe, CIPP method, and that's what we're using for our city sewer mains when we're doing our capital rehabilitation projects that I just mentioned. And as you can see before, as in the picture here, you've got a before picture, it's a clay pipe that's got cracks and roots coming in. Afterwards, it's this essentially new liner that is inside the host pipe that effectively seals and renews the lateral. And it's a felt-soaked resin soaked felt that solidifies and becomes a very hard piece of pipe. And we are updating our lining procedure in our admin guidelines to conform to our current practices. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that. Next slide. And next we'll talk about our enhanced outreach. I am going to bring in Mariana Cruz, our SLIP program administrator, and she will talk to you about the enhanced outreach that we've done.
Thank you. Ms. Cruz, you're muted.
Ms. Cruz, you should be unmuted now.
Thank you.
There you go.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and members of the council. My name is Mariana Cruz, and I'm here today to talk to you about the SLIP program's outreach efforts. Next slide, please. Like Ms. Fair said, over the past 2 years, we've really been working hard to increase our program's effectiveness in terms of communicating with the public. And we've done that in several ways. We've actually worked with a consultant to develop graphics and visuals that make it easy for the public to understand what their laterals are. Mentioned earlier in the presentation, your sewer lateral is in the dirt, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So by developing some graphics that allow us and the public to visualize what is happening beneath the surface has been really helpful. In addition to that, we've really lifted up our website to have more resources, including step-by-step visuals of what the SLIP process is like. We have a variety of frequently asked questions on our website so that the public has a one-stop shop to go to and get their SLIP questions answered. However, we didn't stop there. We also have been taking one-on-one appointments with members of the public. Due to COVID, we have switched those appointments to be virtually. However, we've seen how successful they are, and people seem to really like them. They seem to be more convenient with their schedules. So if the public wants to continue meeting with our staff virtually, we plan to continue to do that in order to be accessible to the public. In addition, we've developed a way that the public could reach, any one of our staff members through a general email account and phone number. so that if one of us is, out sick or whatever the case might be, that their email is responded to in a timely manner. So if they leave a message on the voicemail or on the email, that's the general slip account, they will receive a call back or an email back from the first available member of our staff. Next slide, please. In addition to that, we've been working on outreach materials. Like I said, our website, graphics, we've been more present on social media. As you can see on this slide here, 2 different flyers that went out both in English and Spanish, reminding the community to not flush their wipes. As most of you know, wipes, even though they say they are flushable, they might say that on the packaging, they're not necessarily degrading once they're flushed. They can get caught in their laterals if they have some kind of blockage, if there's roots, and that can lead to a sewage backup. So we created some graphics in order to spread that message through social media. We actually worked with Rincon Radio to also share that information with the public on the radio in both English and in popular Spanish radio stations like Radio Bronco. And they were helping us get the message out, reminding the public that, keep themselves safe, but keep in mind that these methods of cleaning that they're utilizing, those wipes, those towels, those should be disposed of in the trash and not flushed down their toilets. We've increased also our social media presence. We've been working with other groups to make sure that we're involved with city publications, inserting articles in the utility bill insert, being more active in weekly CNIB messaging. We've also worked with City TV to develop some educational videos, and all those videos can be found on the city's Water Resources Division YouTube page. And finally, we've also switched a lot of our training online or virtually. We held 2 trainings this year with the plumbing community, and those are both done virtually. Next slide, please. As we move forward with this program and we continue to reach the community, we're finding more ways to be accessible. And one thing we have coming up is a virtual lunch and learn. We're actually hosting 2. The first one is on May 25th, and that's just the introduction to the sewer lateral inspection program. So anyone who wants to learn about lateral maintenance, this is more of a proactive lunch and learn for people who may not be enrolled in the SPLIT program, but want to learn about lateral maintenance, want to know what they're responsible for, how they can ensure that their lateral stays in working conditions, and what are some of the upkeeps that they can do. So that informational session is on May 25th. And then on June 15th, we're offering another one that's going to be tailored to those who are enrolled in the program. So walking them through the steps of the process in order for them to receive a certificate of compliance. And registration for those events can be done at santabarbaraca.gov/SPLIT events. And another thing that we're doing in terms of moving forward is Liliana Encinas, who works for the fire department, has just led some very successful community events in Spanish. And we've been fortunate enough to meet with her to pick her brain on her lessons learned and what's been successful with her outreach in order for us to start developing relationships with the community so that we can get this information out to our Spanish-speaking community, working with nonprofits and making connections with those organizations that the community seeks for guidance so that we can help them have the information the public needs so that we can create relationships with those organizations and make ourselves more accessible and more approachable to the public. Next slide. And that is it for my outreach updates. I'm going to turn it back to Ms. Fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz. Okay, next steps. Next slide, please. So the next steps, we are going to continue listening to the community's feedback. We've gotten a lot of great ideas from just stuff we've overheard, and even customers that have gone through the program who have called back and said, hey, did you guys ever think about doing this? And there's some great ideas out there, and we're listening. So we're excited for people to give us input. One other thing that's kind of in the background that's been going on, but it's been a hefty workload for us, is coordinating with the other public works projects. So as we know, the Measure C funding, we received a good portion of money to be able to redo a lot of our streets. We've seen a lot of success out there, and there's some beautifully repaved streets out there. Makes our community and our city just look really great. And the last thing we would want to have happen with one of those beautifully paved streets is to have somebody have a sewer lateral inspection require them to dig up the street. So we're coordinating with our streets division and even the water distribution and our water main projects on where they're going to be going, so we can either get ahead of those projects and have the property owners get the work done prior to, or if they're already, if the work's already been completed, work with the property owner to give them extensions on the work to make sure that we're not cutting into those brand new streets. So that's been, that's actually been really neat to see all of the different groups work together on that. We're also going to be exploring financial assistance for our low or fixed income community, and this has really been a challenge. We've got our Prop 218 restrictions that anything coming from rates has to be divvied up equally or available to anyone. So we are looking into what we can do for that portion of our community. And then, as Ms. Cruz had mentioned, she has been working with Liliana, and one of the big things that Liliana had mentioned is to start reaching out to the Spanish-speaking community through our nonprofits that they go to. So that's something that we're going to start jumping into, which will be really exciting. Next slide. And that is all we have on the SLIP update. So we thank you so much for listening to us, and please, we welcome any questions.
Thanks, Ms. Fair, Ms. Cruz, Ms. Taylor, for that clear presentation. I wonder if there's questions. I was just so happy to see that the forward lateral program worked out so well. I like it when technology helps us. So, questions from the City Council? See, I knew we were good on that one. Okay, well, let's see if there's public comment. I saw a couple of names related to water quality in the audience list a minute ago. Ms. Gorman, is anyone raising their hand?
Yes, Madam Mayor, Hillary Hauser, one public speaker. So we'll pull up our timer.
Grateful for Ms. Hauser, thank you.
Very good. And Hillary Hauser, you can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Okay, here we are. Thank you, City Council members and Madam Mayor. Hillary Hauser from Heal the Ocean. I'm very excited about this SLIP program. Heal the Ocean's been working on this one for years and years. We wanted the whole city inspected by quadrants on the lateral program. I mean, on the sewer laterals. We've had calls from people said, my God, I just bought a house and I didn't realize I didn't have any pipes underneath. So this is wonderful. And we were behind the earlier SLIP program that unfortunately got a little bit tarnished by plumbers who weren't exactly honest. And so I love the elements of this program that guarantees that the homeowner will have an oversight to their video inspection, and so that there can't be any hanky-panky from plumbers saying you've got a problem when they don't, that kind of thing. So we go right along with the Water Commission in fully supporting this program. I think it's excellent that it's been made into its own program instead of a part of the wastewater function. So this is unqualified, yes, and thank you for working so hard on it, all you SLIP people. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers, Ms. Clerk?
No, Madam Mayor, no further speakers on this item.
Okay. I'm back here. Any comments from our city council? I don't think we need to take a vote. We're just receiving this excellent update. Mr. Jordan and then Ms. Sneddon, closing remarks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to compliment staff and Mr. Hagemart, who's lurking around with a pretend title for a while, but all of you on the screen too, because this has been through such a tumultuous birthing and process to get here, starting with education, starting with and finding its resistance along the way. And I think I'm sure it's going to continue to evolve, but where it is right now is so really neat over where it was before. I'm looking at that forward lateral thing, which I assume is a third party thing. And I just love that you're able to, for the same amount or less money than you're spending on something that's not being as effective, take that same resource and leverage it with a third party company out there to make it broadly more effective. So really cool. Happy to hear, I know that's a toss out probably to me, Ms. Cruz, on low income assistance, because probably you've been told that if you didn't keep mentioning that Mike Jordan would say something. I'm happy to hear that you're still trying to find a way to do that. That to me continues to be one of the tough spots in this program, particularly in older housing adjacent to watersheds. So whether that's down off of Allen Road, whether that's certainly running through the downtown next to Mission Creek, the people who can least afford to make these repairs also happen many times to live in the worst location for water quality impacts. And I know it's expensive. Years ago, there were threads on Nextdoor that talked about, your neighbor did it for $5,000, but the guy wants $15,000 to do it. So the way you guys have kind of coordinated the options, you've got that competitive bid thing where if it's, I'm just making up numbers, if it's not deeper than 8 or 12 feet, it's gonna be $5,000 no matter what, which is way better than hearing from your neighbors that they paid more or they paid less, and kind of does it. Only input I have is not to forget as a department to put your PR resources when you have a willing person on the hook talking about water going out, that you also have an opportunity to talk to them about water going in, and that you're continuing to leverage the technology that we already have there. And I know I have the letters right because I want to say adaptive management plan, but whatever the AMP or that little electronic thing on the meter is that I can put on my phone that reads it once a day, that should be an automatic to educate people with, to get them on the website. And then I'm also a very happy $100 customer of Flume, which gives me real-time response to my water. When I go out and water my fruit trees, I get a message on my phone immediately that your water's been running at 6 gallons a minute for 10 minutes. So it only takes you one broken washer hose or one slab leak to realize you didn't have to pay a $1,000 water bill rather than 200, because you have something that tells you immediately. And so the PR efforts, I think, need to just make sure that when you're talking about water leaving, that you're also putting the same resources to the water coming into the building and management there with as much technology as you can. But overall, again, I think this is continues to be, every time we hear something from this department, just leaps and leaps forwards in where we were to where we're at now, and certainly where we're going. So thank you again to all of you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thanks, Mr. Jordan. Ms. Snedden, your remarks?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll echo some of the same. I know Councilmember Jordan was on the Water Commission when I was there also, and when Ms. Fair came in, bringing the physical why into the room so that we could actually see what she was talking about, and just not just the excellence in communication and graphics and outreach, but making everything so accessible in terms of public outreach and public input and these lunch and learn events. And really, I keep looking to the water department as real examples of successful public outreach, but also responsiveness to what that input is. It's meeting with really a wide variety of stakeholders on everything. It's really incredible. And I'm thinking back to even in San Roque, you would have on one street suddenly 5 different or more different houses all dealing with this at the same time and not realizing who the why belonged to, and we had older people who were really being gouged by pricing of, and in some cases they'd own their house a really long time, and you get a $10,000 bill, and it was much bigger than they were prepared for, and we had so many issues with that, that this has been just really responsive to in terms of people understanding, but also being able to prepare for the costs, having them be reliable, predictable, and just I can't say enough about the incredible responsiveness to the needs of the entire community. And each time it comes back, it gets better and better. And it's I really also want to compliment staff on what you've done in this regard. And it seems like maybe a small thing that isn't that exciting, but it's really helped with our spills and contamination and better water quality, and really good for the whole community. And just one more, the extra efforts that have been made to coordinate these efforts with public works projects, with water main replacements, and with paving. And I know that was a big effort to get that in place, and just really fantastic work. Thank you. And also to pass on to council that all of Water Commission shares this same adoration. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Stenton. Well, I will add my expression of gratitude for all your hard work. Every property owner is concerned about their sewer lateral. So we really appreciate your work helping our residents, protecting the environment, and doing outreach to the community, in particular, our Spanish-speaking community. Really grateful for your work. We receive your report with lots of praise. Keep up the good work. A good thank you to Ms. Hillary Hauser too for Heal the Ocean and their watchdoggedness. And we'll see you the next time that you come back. Hopefully when the pandemic's done, we'll all celebrate again. So thank you again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
We'll close this item. And we're in such good time today. Let's just go ahead on to number 9. If the clerk would read that item into the record.
Certainly, Your Honor, Madam Mayor. Number 9, proposed Santa Barbara clean energy rates. Recommendation the council adopt by reading of title only. A resolution of the council of the city of Santa Barbara approving the Santa Barbara clean energy rate setting formula for each of its energy product offerings across all customer types, and authorizing the city administrator to determine rates by application of the formulas.
Ms. Parento, we're happy to see you and ready for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. Good afternoon. We are here to discuss the Santa Barbara Clean Energy generation rates today. Next slide, please. So quickly, just the agenda of the presentation. I'm going to give you a very brief update on where we are with SBCE implementation. I'm going to walk you through the rate development process, including our SBCE energy products, the revenue requirement, and some cost factors we want to discuss with you today. And then just a really quick recap of the next steps before we head into our launch season coming right up. Next slide, please. So this is a nice visual of where we've been and where we're going in terms of SBCE implementation. This orange arrow shows you where we are today with the rate setting. And as you can see, there are not too many arrows between now and launch. So we are very, very close. We're in the home stretch. Next slide, please. A reminder, we'll be launching residential service in October of 2021 and all of the other rate classes, including commercial, industrial, et cetera, in March of 2022. Next slide, please. And then I like to show you these slides at each presentation, especially because we do have some newer council members who might not have been at the original CCA presentations. And so just a reminder that the words or the terms CCA and CCE are used interchangeably. CCA is community choice aggregation, which is the technical or regulatory term used, and therefore it's in a lot of our documentation. But we find CCE or community choice energy much more user-friendly and descriptive of what we're doing. So you'll hear me use both, possibly. Next slide, please. And then my 3 favorite facts about CCE are that CCE is an opt-out program. This was an element of the enabling legislation that said in order to set up the CCE programs for success, we're going to default every customer into the program and they have the option to leave the program should they choose to do so. The really great benefit of CCE is that it is all about choice. Currently, the consumer can only go to Southern California Edison for their electrical service and generation options. And so this gives them 3 options. They can stay in our default 100% carbon-free product. They can opt down to our lower carbon-free product, or they can return to Edison if they would like to. And then lastly, and very, very importantly, Edison will continue to maintain the infrastructure. So the city is not taking over the poles and wires. That remains the responsibility of Edison to maintain and deliver the power to our community. The CCE is taking over procuring the power, building generation assets locally, setting generation rates, and then implementing programs and reinvesting in our community. Next slide, please. All right, so diving right into the rates. Next slide. I'm going to talk a little bit about the rate development process, how we got to the numbers we're presenting today. Next slide, please. There were a number of rate considerations that we took when developing basically the budget for SBCE. And these were, we needed to have revenue sufficiency to cover all of the administrative and program expenses and meet target reserve policy. We needed the rates to be competitive to allow SBCE to successfully compete in the marketplace with Southern California Edison. We wanted the rates to provide stability. We don't want to be changing them many, many times throughout the year based on the market. We also want to provide rates that are simple to understand and transparent to the consumer so they know what the rates are paying for. We wanted equity among customers, so the rates to represent what the cost of service was to the consumer. And as with all load serving entities in California, rates need to generally encourage energy efficiency. And so ours will continue to do that. Next slide, please. There are some foundational principles when designing the SBCE rates, and these include that they will not provide a general fund subsidy, that they will be reevaluated and adopted as needed based on the revenue requirement. The SBCE rates are pegged to Edison rates, which are approved by the CPUC, and we'll explain a little bit more what that means in a moment. And that SBCE rates will provide the revenue required to operate and administer not only the program, but also the project, or sorry, the programs that come out of it. So that's the revenue requirement. Next slide, please. All right, before we go too much further, we need to establish what exactly our product offerings are. Next slide. So SBCE will be offering 3 options within the SBCE program to customers. And that is the default product, which we'll go into each of these in more detail in a moment. And that's the 100% green product. There's our opt-down product, which we're calling SBCE Green Start. And then there's the build your own product, which is SBCE Resilient. Next slide, please. Starting with our default product, this is what everyone will be opted into or automatically enrolled into when we do launch service. This is our 100% carbon-free product. It does come at a slight premium over Edison's base rate, and that's related to the greener content, exit fees, and legacy Edison contracts. And we'll go into that in more detail in a moment. Next slide, please. And then we have the SBCE Green Start product, which is what you can opt it down to. This is actually offered at the exact same cost as the customer is currently paying Edison, but offers less carbon-free content. Next slide, please. And then lastly, for those that choose to put solar or battery storage in at their home or business, we have SBCE Resilient, which is typically referred to as a net metering program, where folks can generate revenue for excess production based on that installation. This encourages local investment in renewables and does provide compensation for excess generation. So people generally still build to their needs in their house, but if they do energy efficiency projects on their house and therefore generate more electricity than they need, then they can be compensated for that based on a market rate. Next slide, please. So there are a couple of cost factors we wanted to bring up with you today. Next slide. One is renewable content versus carbon-free content. You may have noticed that I have been referring to the 100% green as 100% carbon-free. And this is because the policy decision originally that your council made was to default at 100% renewable content. There are a couple of market changes that are making this have a bigger premium requirement if we stipulate only the bucket one or the bundled renewable energy. And so we're recommending that for the first few years, up to 2 or 3 years, we blend in some carbon-free content and mitigate that rate premium and give us a little bit of more cushion just for those initial years. Next slide, please. So what does that mean? The only difference that we're proposing is to blend in a small amount of large hydro. Large hydro is not considered renewable under the California Renewable Portfolio Standard, simply because of its impact on biodiversity where dams are put in. We are not, however, proposing to build new dams, so this would be off-taking from existing hydro projects. Next slide, please. Oh, there you go, large hydro. So here's a visual of the impact of mixing in some of that carbon-free content. The red arrow shows if we stay at the bucket one or the bundled renewable energy, as originally decided, we would meet target reserves in FY27. And then we would be able to start looking at implementing programming. If we blend in 25% carbon-free content, we would meet target reserves in FY26. And if we blended up to 50% of carbon-free content, we would meet that in FY25. Next slide, please. So really, what does this mean? It just means that we can provide some rate stability and economic security by building that initial cushion up early. We'll be able to fund SBCE programs sooner. We'll have more ability to invest in that local solar or battery storage generation that we're looking forward to do for resilience purposes. And it will give us more flexibility with future rates if we have a solid reserve foundation. Next slide, please. In terms of meeting our goals, we are still very much on track to meet the renewable electricity goal by 2030 because we're only proposing to do this for the first few years. In terms of our carbon neutrality goal, it's actually no difference because the large hydro is still carbon free. Plus, this opens up a number of pathways, being able to fund other carbon neutrality or greenhouse gas mitigation measures sooner through SBCE programs. And I just wanted to mention that we're already having some success offering programs, and we'll be the only CCE to launch with program offerings in October of 2021. And we're doing that through grant funding, leveraging existing programs elsewhere, and through our partners like CalChoice, who are being very innovative in delivering customer programs at the outset. Next slide, please. Another policy decision that was made previously by your council was to default income qualified customers who receive a discounted rate at the 100% green product, but still at their same discounted rate. This did create an annual subsidy of approximately $200,000 per year. We looked into this a little bit more with the city attorneys, and it did raise some potential legal uncertainty that gave us some concerns. And so we are recommending that we default the care customers or the income qualified customers in at the Green Start at no subsidy. Ultimately, everyone's receiving the same electrons, and so it's just preserving their discounted rate for them without any legal uncertainty. Next slide, please. Moving on to revenue requirement. Next slide. So basically, the components of the revenue requirement are fourfold. There's the power supply cost, and that is the bulk majority of the revenue requirement. These contracts are based on council's approved power supply product offerings and policies that we just discussed. Whether we blend in a little bit of carbon-free or go 100% renewable, that's what these costs are all going to be related to. Additionally, there are some administrative and operational costs, such as our CalChoice contract or our data management contract, or even regulatory requirements that we have annually. There's our rate stability reserve requirement, which is in line with other reserve policies around the city at 25%. And then there are customer programs, which will be offered by SBCE and will support our energy and climate goals around the city. Next slide, please. A quick note about what the customer programs are. They're really programs that will be designed to meet our carbon neutrality goals. And so they will look at things like energy efficiency, resilience, renewable generation, et cetera. And ultimately will take over the energy and climate program overhead, which is currently an intercity services fund, and will take over the administration of that, since it will all be tied together. Next slide, please. So here's a visual of how we're looking. If we do blend in 25% of carbon free, this is what the budget looks like, with the orange bar being our total operation expenses and the red being our reserve contribution. So this shows us reaching the reserves in FY26, and then our ability to start investing in programs, capital projects, rate relief, whatever council decides they would like to start investing in. The black line is our revenue over time. So it shows you how it keeps pace with those expenditures. Next slide, please. So that takes us to the formula. So we started with Edison's rates, and they are very varied. There are hundreds of them based on the customer type and the size of your load. So we just peg to those. And for SBC 100% green, we're adding 1.2 cents per kilowatt hour. So that is that rate premium we were discussing. For SBC Green Start, exactly the same cost as Southern California Edison. And then SBC Resilient, you get a benefit, so a payment of 6.6 cents per kilowatt hour of excess generation. So whatever is not used at your home, at the end of the year, there's a true up, and you are paid for that excess generation. Next slide, please. This is just a snapshot of what the rate schedule will look like. Again, there are hundreds of them, so I won't bore you with going through each one, but it shows you how those formulas are applied. So for example, this is a residential rate that we're looking at on this table. You can see that for the 100% green, it's just 1.2 cents more per kilowatt hour than the Green Start for each of the time of use periods. Next slide, please. And then just quickly touching on the premium and what it means long-term. So this is sort of a sample bill for each customer type, and it does create an increase at the outset for each customer type. But as you can see, it's a pretty nominal increase. 80% of our accounts in Santa Barbara are that residential line, which will see a 4% increase, roughly $3 to $5 per month. Again, they can opt down to Green Start if that is a big concern for them. What I wanted to touch on was why this premium was necessary. So next slide, please. And predominantly, it's what's called exit fees, or the power cost indifference adjustment, which is a fee levied on load-serving entities that leave the incumbent utility. So for example, Southern California Edison has contracted on Santa Barbara's behalf long-term energy contracts in order to get good pricing. Well, when we leave, because CCE launches, they're still on the hook for those contracts. So the power cost and difference adjustment, or the PCIA, is meant to keep them whole for those contracts for the duration of the contract. What this visual is trying to show you that eventually the contracts run out and then we drop off of those contracts and we're no longer paying exit fees to Edison for those. The nice thing about that is it means that over time, the PCIA will ratchet downward and eventually disappear. So that big cost premium that we're paying to Edison will go away. Next slide, please. And so this just shows you that really on a generation to generation cost basis, we come in under Southern California Edison in every rate class. And so that's really a hopeful sign that once that PCIA starts rationing down, we're going to be able to have a lot of flexibility with our rates. For example, here on the left-hand column of the table, you can see residential, we're paying about $41 per megawatt hour, whereas Southern California Edison pays about 48. So we're looking really good in terms of our pricing. Next slide, please. And then really quickly, next steps for SBCE. Next slide. We're working away on our website, which we're hoping to launch next month to get people excited. And we'll make sure that you get to put some eyes on that. And then we also are going to be coming back in May with some very high level policies regarding customer confidentiality. Then our customer mailers go out. We're required by the CPUC to send out mailers in 2 months prior to launch and 2 months after. So for phase 1, that'll be September and August, and then again in November, December. And then we launch, and we're planning a launch event that will be pandemic friendly, so stay tuned for details on that. And then we will keep going with our program development with CalChoice and looking forward to our phase 2 launch in March. Next slide, please. And with that, the recommendation, next slide. The council adopt a resolution approving the energy rate setting formulas for each product and authorize the city administrator to determine that by application of the formulas.
Thanks so much, Ms. Parenteau. Those of us who serve on the Community Choice Energy Committee are familiar with some of this, so we're happy to take questions from the council members. Mr. Jordan, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hey, Ms. Parenteau. The only thing I ever get confused about in normal energy, and then I don't know how it transitions to this, is what I think is the eventual evolution to much more solar, much more locally generated power. And I hear horror stories all the time without this, that to do that and work with Edison and even get to a point where Edison allows you to generate more power back into the system. There's a phrase for that I forget. I know you know what it is. And even then, when we're going to get to the point where we're banking locally or regionally off of power coming from my roof and your roof in excess of what I need. So is there anything in this program that sets up further challenges for that? Or is this program also helping get us to resolving some of those existing challenges to be ready for that?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Councilmember Jordan. That is an excellent question. And there are answers to that question coming from all sides. So the interconnection difficulties that you're referring to with Southern California Edison are being looked at and resolved at the California Public Utilities Commission level, where they're being required to streamline the process for interconnection. Some of that is based on their own infrastructure hurdles that they have to work on. And we can work hand in hand with them as a CCE. The real benefit to what you're referring to with CCE is that we can now be a direct off-taker of what's called an in front of the meter project. So we don't need to have load where we build the project. We can actually build the project and then send it out throughout the grid, throughout the city. That creates a huge opportunity for us to work with local business owners and homeowners to say, you install the solar, we'll help you pay for it, and we get some of the benefits, right? Either we get to offset our what's called our resource adequacy requirement, or even our renewable portfolio piece. And so there are a lot of ways we can leverage co-benefits to that kind of thing, and it gives us a lot more pathways to do so. So I think this would do the opposite of set up hurdles to improving resiliency and distributing renewable energy assets. That being said, it is becoming more and more important to pair solar with storage. And so we would definitely benefit from developing programs that encourage that. And I think your council's aware of that. And we're always looking at that. And that also has a bigger benefit to the CCE if we're able to store that power on site.
Super. Thank you. Happy to hear that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thanks. Any other questions before we check to see if there's a public comment related to this important item? I don't see any questions, Ms. Parento. Thank you so much. Ms. Clerk, is anyone raising their hand in the audience of GoToWebinar?
Madam Mayor, one public speaker, E. Howard Green, so we'll pull up our timer. Very good.
Mr. Green, spending the afternoon with us. Thank you.
Thank you
Go
very
ahead.
much. Yes, it's always exciting on Tuesday afternoons. Also, the budget sessions scattered about. I'm concerned about reliability of the sources. SCE apparently has long-term contracts. Will we be entering into long-term contracts? Are we going to be competing with other municipal distributors? I'm not sure I heard that in any of the discussion. The second point or question, I believe that there are three components. I'm not positive that there's a generation component today, a transmission component today, and a distribution component today. I'm guessing that the only thing that you all can provide a benefit is in the generation area, because the transmission and the distribution, I think, will be SCE still. I'm sorry that normally you don't answer questions from public comment, but well, I think those are legitimate questions that perhaps one of the council members might want to restate for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Parento, I'm assuming there's no other public comment speaker, Ms. Clerk?
Correct, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Right, the transmission grid, it does stay with Southern California Edison. Ms. Parento, just some remarks. We're happy to hear what you have to say.
Madam Mayor, yes, thank you. Yes, the public commenter was absolutely right. Transmission, which is the statewide sort of grid piece, and then distribution, which is our local grid piece, stays with Edison. We are not taking those over. So we are only responsible for the generation, which is essentially contracting and then building locally. And then the public commenter's first question was, will we be entering into long-term contract? There's actually requirements, regulatory requirements, that we enter into a mix of types of contracts, short-term and long-term, to show long-term resource adequacy. So absolutely we will be.
Well, let's direct Mr. Green and the rest of the public to your beautiful website too. So please take a look at it. They've done a great job with that. Ms. Parento, thank you. We're ready for our closing remarks. Folks, you see we need a motion to put the resolution forward. Ms. Sneddon, who's on the committee with me, I'm proud to chair the Community Choice Energy Committee. Go ahead, and then Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I could not be more excited about this. I think it's taken so much to move forward on this, and Ms. Parento and your team, who's researched this so thoroughly and really laid out for us the pros, the cons, although really cons there, I just don't see them. It's just so exciting to have local control, to be able to diversify how we're procuring energy and where we're getting that from, to put really high level requirements on that energy that we are procuring, and to be doing right by our citizens and our residents in having renewable energy through every electrical socket that's available. And when I tell people about this, honestly, they just can't believe it, that without doing anything, just by turning their power on and plugging into their electrical outlets, that they're going to be getting 100% renewable energy sources is just incredible. And the thoughtfulness to the equity issues of this being subsidized and not creating huge financial impacts to still be able to procure this energy I'm just so impressed and so proud of what it is that this is accomplishing, and really toward our goals of resilience and sustainability, and eventually, you know, it's my own personal goal to microgridding and to being self-sustained. So really congratulations. This is very exciting. I'm really happy to move to the recommendation that we adopt the resolution to approve the clean energy rates and to authorize the city administrator to determine the rates by the application of these formulas. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Friedman, a second there, maybe?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to second the motion. So first, I just want to reiterate and echo what Councilmember Sneddon just said. It's truly a great project and a great way to move forward on meeting our renewable energy goals and just better serve our community. And also want to thank our staff. It's been a long road. And when we talk about resiliency, getting this project, it was also resiliency in getting this to come forward. I remember going back to about 2006 when the first discussions of bringing community choice energy to the county came, and there were a lot of setbacks. And then as we've gone through this process, even in my last 3 years at the city here, after the county, there was a lot of setbacks, but we kept moving the ball forward, and we now have our own program, which is going to have all the benefits that we've been discussing today, but also the ability to do our own local programming and invest in new jobs and in a new sector to diversify our economy here in the city of Santa Barbara with a lot of jobs in the green energy industry. So just really glad that this is moving forward. It's been a long time coming, but we have a lot of more options for us. And ultimately it has competition in the marketplace for our energy needs, which is a good thing. So happy to move it forward, and thank you all for the work that you've done, staff and everyone involved.
Thank you, Mr. Friedman. It has been a long road and a lot of twists and turns and a lot of interaction with state law and with regional partners. We support all the community choice aggregation programming going on around us. Grateful that we've ended up where we are with this particular program. So if there's no other commentary, we'll take a roll call vote, please. What's on the screen here?
Very good. For item 9, this is a motion by Councilmember Sneddon, seconded by Councilmember Friedman for the recommended action. Councilmember Sneddon.
Yes.
Councilmember Friedman.
Yes.
Councilmember Jordan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Gutierrez.
Aye.
Councilmember Alejandra Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Harmon.
Yes.
And Mayor Murillo.
Aye. That was unanimous. Thank you, everybody. We'll close this item with thanks to Ms. Parenteau and her staff and move to our final item on the agenda, and that's to do our committee assignment reports. I have a couple. Downtown Santa Barbara Board met this morning and talked about the effort to honor the needs of retail, restaurant, and all the businesses downtown. There's been a lot of focus on State Street and the parklets, and the board members talked about that, and also that their Thursday evening vendor market is going really well. I attended the last board meeting of the Housing Authority Commission. Great group, great effort and success always with our housing authority. They talked about maintenance on some of the properties and their 5-year action plan. Ms. Sneddon, your report, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended a joint community event, I think other council members did too as well, between the library and CAUSE called the Yellow House project, and really fantastic event. I encourage people to look up the maps on the library site, and it's sort of using GIS maps, and you can drop location pins and tell about areas in Santa Barbara that are meaningful to you, your memories of them and why they matter to you. And it's really weaving a beautiful tapestry of the city, and a really really neat project. I'm happy to attend that. And then we did have a CCRB meeting this week. Nothing new to report on that.
Anyone else? Thank you, everybody. We'll adjourn to the next meeting. Mr. Casey, I don't have my budget hearing schedule in front of me. If you have it, I would be grateful for you to let us know when we're meeting again. We're in budget season, everybody, so please participate in our budget hearings as well. But for now, meeting adjourned. Thank you.